The sky is not blue, the grass is not green, the blood in your veins is not red. Out there, beyond your skull, beyond your retinas, beyond the electrochemical machinery of your visual cortex, there are no colors at all. Only electromagnetic waves oscillating at different frequencies, silent, colorless, invisible waves moving through space. Color is not a property of the world. It is a response your brain generates to those waves, and the response is not universal. It is not accurate. It is not even consistent between two people standing side by side looking at the same sunset. What you see when you look at the sky is not the sky. It is your brain's opinion about the sky, and it has been painting the world for you without your knowledge or consent every single moment of your life. Let that sit. Because what follows is not philosophy, it is physics. And by the end, the world outside your window will look and mean something fundamentally different. Here is what is actually happening when you see color. The sun emits electromagnetic radiation across an enormous range of frequencies. Radio waves, microwaves, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays, and a tiny, almost absurdly narrow band in the middle, the band your eyes happen to be sensitive to, that we call visible light. When sunlight hits an object, some wavelengths are absorbed by the object's surface. Others are reflected. A ripe apple absorbs most incoming wavelengths and reflects back a narrow band oscillating at roughly 700 nanometers. That reflected wave travels through the air, enters your eye, and strikes a cluster of specialized cells in your retina called cone cells. You have three types of cone cells, sensitive to long, medium, and short wavelengths respectively. The 700 nanometer wave from the apple stimulates your long wavelength cones more than the others. That differential stimulation generates an electrical signal. That signal travels up the optic nerve to the visual cortex at the back of your skull. And there, only there, your brain does something that has no equivalent anywhere in the physical world outside you. It invents red, not detects it, not measures it, invents it. The redness of the apple does not exist in the wave. It does not exist in the retina. It does not exist in the optic nerve. It is generated, constructed, manufactured by your visual cortex as a way of labeling and distinguishing different wavelength ranges. Red is a neural code, a tag, a name your brain gives to a frequency. And the experience of redness, that vivid, immediate, undeniable sensation, exists nowhere in the universe except inside your head. This is where our intuition completely breaks down. The universe, as it actually exists, has no color. Not muted color, not faded color, no color at all. Electromagnetic waves have frequency and amplitude. They have energy. They have the ability to interact with matter in precise, measurable ways, but they have no color any more than a sound wave has a flavor. Color is a biological response to physical input, not a property of the input itself. Consider what this means for the night sky. The images you've seen of the Orion Nebula, those sweeping clouds of violet and crimson and gold that seem almost impossibly beautiful, those colors were not seen by any human eye. They were captured by instruments sensitive to wavelengths your eyes cannot detect, then translated into visible light wavelengths your visual cortex can process, then assigned colors by software, then interpreted by your brain. The nebula itself has no color. The image is a translation of invisible physics into a language your nervous system can read. Even the colors you see with your own eyes looking at a real object in real daylight are a translation, not a faithful reproduction of something that exists, a constructed representation of wavelength differences generated by biology, constrained by the specific sensitivities of your three cone types, and shaped by the processing algorithms your visual cortex applies before you ever consciously perceive anything. But wait, it gets stranger. In 2015, a photograph of a dress stopped the internet. Some people saw it as white and gold. Others, looking at the exact same image on the exact same screen, saw it as blue and black. The disagreement was not about preference or interpretation. People were genuinely seeing different colors, the same pixels, the same wavelengths, different experiences. What was happening? The brain doesn't just passively receive light, It actively interprets it using context, expectation, and assumptions about the lighting environment to calculate what color an object probably is. Different brains made different assumptions about the light source illuminating the dress, and those different assumptions produced genuinely different color experiences from identical physical input. The dress controversy was not an anomaly. It was a demonstration of something neuroscientists already knew. Color perception is not passive reception. It is active inference. Your visual cortex is not a camera. It is a prediction engine, constantly making educated guesses about what the world probably looks like based on incomplete information and a set of built-in assumptions that work well in most contexts but can be dramatically wrong in others. The color you see is your brain's best guess, not the truth. Now consider this. Bees can see ultraviolet light. A flower that looks uniformly yellow to you displays vivid ultraviolet patterns to a bee, patterns that act as landing guides, pointing directly to the nectar. The flower has been communicating in a language your visual system cannot read. You have been looking at flowers your entire life and seeing only a fraction of what is there. Mantis shrimp have 16 types of photoreceptor cells. You have 3. The color world accessible to a mantis shrimp likely contains distinctions and experiences that have no equivalent in any human language, no equivalent in any human experience. Entire dimensions of color that you cannot imagine because your visual system was never built to access them. Which raises a question that should unsettle you deeply. If the color world of a mantis shrimp is inaccessible to you, what makes you confident that your color world, the one generated by 3 cone types and a visual cortex shaped by millions of years of primate evolution, is the right one, the accurate one, the real one? There is no right one. There is no real one. There is only the one your nervous system happens to generate. Color is not a discovery, it is a dialect, and every species speaks a different one. And here is where physics stops being unsettling and becomes something almost unbearably beautiful. The sunset you find breathtaking, that particular arrangement of orange and gold bleeding into violet at the horizon, that beauty does not exist in the atmosphere, it exists in you. The atmosphere is scattering different wavelengths of light at different angles because of the geometry of the sun's position and the density of the air. That is all the universe is doing. Geometry and scattering. You are doing everything else. Your visual cortex is generating the orange. Your emotional systems are responding to the contrast, the gradient, the association with endings and warmth and time passing. The beauty is not out there waiting to be found. The beauty is something you bring to the physics, something your nervous system creates from raw frequency data and transforms, somehow mysteriously, into an experience that can make a person stop walking and simply stand and look. The universe is not beautiful. The universe is not colorful. The universe is not ugly or plain or anything at all aesthetically. It is electromagnetic radiation and matter and force and geometry, playing out according to mathematical laws that have no preference for beauty or ugliness, color or colorlessness. You are the one who sees color. You are the one who finds it beautiful. In a universe that generates none of either, you arrive with your 3 cone types and your visual cortex and your capacity for wonder, and you paint everything. Every color you have ever seen, every sunset that has ever stopped you, every face illuminated in a particular light that made you catch your breath. All of it was you. It has always been you. If this changed the way you see the world around you, subscribe, because there is more where this came from, and each one goes somewhere you did not expect.